The following is a public service announcement from the zombie apocalypse. It's a harsh world with even harsher consequences for all those who are unfamiliar with its ways. Many bodies fall on only the first day due to a mix of poor planning, bad luck, and a lack of understanding of how to survive in a world void of all previously existing utilities. In this 6-part series, we're going to be showing you what to do while surviving the apocalypse. Meet Jimmy. Say hello, Jimmy. Jimmy just looked out his window to see all his friends, family, and neighbors turned into horrible monsters that want nothing more than to rip him limb from limb. I'm sure that we can all relate to Jimmy in this situation. With the apocalypse now upon him, Jimmy will need to gather a stockpile of all life's necessities in order to survive. These include food and water for basic survival, some basic weaponry to bop those blood boilers when they get too close, and some medical supplies for when that bopping inevitably goes wrong. Luckily for old Jimmy here, his very own home is equipped with a small amount of food and medical supplies, with running water also still being available to him. Lacking any kind of weaponry, however, it looks like Jimmy's gonna have to get his hands dirty if he wants to get himself any more supplies. The best way of doing so will be a classic bit of breaking and entering. Head on over to your neighbor's house and see if you can pry the window open. If not, keep circling the house until you find some kind of way to get inside. Now, doesn't that just feel great, Jimmy? The world is gone and the only rules left are the ones that you decide. But, oh no, it seems like your neighbor isn't too happy about having unwanted guests. No worries though. Just a quick shove to the floor and a few kicks to the head will leave that pesky neighbor wishing he just let you through the front door. And Jimmy, it might just be your lucky day. It seems your neighbor was somewhat of a chef, having a fully stocked knife pantry with all of the home cooking weaponry that you could ever desire. With all of these newfound weapons, it might be your first thought to start simply running around town willy-nilly. But doing that, you'll soon find out that the even bigger danger than the zombies are your own human limitations. Exhaustion and tiredness are by far the biggest dangers that you'll have to fight during your first few days surviving the hordes. Even just the first stage of either exhaustion or tiredness can see your damage with melee weaponry being cut in half, as well as a small reduction in both your movement and attack speed. Left unchecked for long enough, and that knife might as well be a wet pool noodle, dealing laughably small amounts of damage to your face-hugging friends. Now with that in mind, where do we go from here, I hear you asking? Well, step 1 would definitely be to secure your home base. Having an area that you can know for certain is safe allows you to regain your strength whenever you find yourself being overwhelmed. With your home base secured, you can now slowly start making your way to other buildings, making sure to stay low, avoid fights, and slowly clear out zombies along the way, while making sure to always keep in mind what your limits are, and turning tail if you ever feel like you've bitten off a bit more than you can chew. Wowee, you're a natural at this, Jimmy. Only a few hours into the apocalypse and you've already used the lessons to clear out your entire street of those pesky flesh peckers. Now I think that it's time for you to take a little break. Search through those bodies that you've left lying around and find yourself some kind of watch. For the first week and a half of the apocalypse, you'll be able to catch TV shows on the Life and Living channel that can help you raise your skills on a number of different areas that will become invaluable to you later down the road. The Life and Living channel can be found with educational content at the time shown on screen. Keep an eye on your watch and try to plan your adventures to happen in between episodes. Now that you've finished your carpentry show, are well rested, and back to full strength, I say that it's about time we start to get you equipped with some higher grade weaponry for the times yet to come. Using the methods mentioned before to search around town, you can find several different places that will give you some very reliable weapons. Some places to especially keep an eye out for are fire departments, hardware stores, any household that has been boarded up, and any kind of tool shed in any residential home. Looting all these weapons, though, might make you start to wonder which ones you should be taking and what you should be leaving behind. For this, I employ the acronym IRDIPI. If it looks dangerous, it probably is. Very good choice, Jimmy. With that in hand, those post-mortem prunes won't even stand a chance. So, Jimmy, you've done very well for yourself so far. You've got everything that you need to survive your first night. But there are still a few things that you're going to need if you want to live longer than that, though. The first of these is going to be some guns, for when you find yourself in a really tricky situation. While only sparingly, guns can be found in just about any residential home, as long as you look hard enough. The weapons that you'll find here don't tend to be particularly powerful, but for the time being, they will definitely get the job done. Whoa, Jimmy. Believe me when I tell you that is not a good idea. While this one zombie might be the only one that you can see right now, there are no doubt far more lurking in places unseen that would end up getting drawn to the noise that shot is going to make. Guns should be treated as the nuclear option, and can make very quick work of the hordes during the apocalypse, but the danger lies in what happens if you find yourself not having enough ammo to finish the job. The general rule of engaging zombies with any kind of firearm is to make sure that you have plenty of bullets in reserve before you go firing your first shot. But where am I to find enough ammo to clear an entire horde, I hear you asking? Most towns will have some kind of police department in them. If you're able to make your way to it and clear the surrounding area, then while inside you should be able to find a set of doors that look like these. These doors will usually signify that there is an armory on the other side, full of all the guns and ammo that your heart could desire. In order to get to it though, we're gonna have to find a way past the armored door. Within the vicinity of the police station, you should be able to find a zombie that has a key still on their body. This key will allow you to simply unlock the door to the armory and walk straight on through. If not, then we're gonna have to get a bit more unconventional. From here, we have one of two options. If we're able to find ourselves a sledgehammer, then we will easily be able to simply knock the door down with only a few swings. If we haven't managed to find a sledgehammer anywhere, then a good alternative would be to use a hammer and screwdriver to disassemble the door. Make sure that you've gone and cleared out all the zombies close by to you before committing to any demolition, however. The last thing that you would want is to find yourself being taken by surprise from a rogue zombie that you missed while clearing the area. Once inside the armory, you'll find yourself swimming in all the guns and ammo that your frail little heart could ever desire. Maybe with all of these, we can head on back to that home base and finally make certain that we cleared out all of the zombies. Hey, Jimmy? Jimmy? Oh, Jimmy. Is your job to go and entertain every single note you find? Or is it to do what you're fucking told? The boredom pandemic has truly been disheartening to us all. That's why we at Red Stuff Incorporated have worked our hardest to find you a cure. To know if you're afflicted with this devastating disease, check for the following symptoms. Do you feel bored? Well, do we have the product for you? Introducing the subscribe button. Just one quick click and all of our studies show that you will be instantly cured of all boredom-related ailments. But don't just take our word for it. Hear the glowing reviews from some of our grateful customers.
I'm not being held at gunpoint.
You've heard the rest. Now try the best. Get your cure and click that button today. Now, Jimmy, you might have the weapons, but I think it's time that you learned how to use them properly. Why don't we try having a little test run by clearing out all of the zombies within earshot of your base? To start, simply aim your weapon at the zombie you want to shoot. You'll see a colored outline around the zombie. This outline will get more and more green as your shot becomes accurate. The greener, the better. This accuracy meter, so to speak, can be affected by anything that you would reasonably think to alter someone's aim, such as moving, injuries, stress, or distance. Another factor in how accurate you are is your aiming stat. This is a stat that can be leveled simply by shooting zombies, with a higher level meaning more accurate shots. And now that you know all that, I think that meter is looking green enough to start shooting. Best stay on your toes from here, Jimmy. This fight is going to take a while. Wow, it looks like you've really riled up a storm. In order to subdue this horde, your best bet is going to be to run them in circles to have them all clumped together. This avoids any nasty troubles that you may have by accidentally running into lone zombies out on their own while managing the horde. Once you've got them all in a neat little ball, the best thing to do here is to simply fire until they start getting too close. Then turn your back and put some distance between you before firing again. Rinse and repeat for a little while, and so long as you have enough bullets to deal with the horde, then they'll be gone in no time. Oh no, Jimmy. It looks like one of those things managed to get a good hit on you. Let's open up your health page to see the damage. Ooh, a laceration is going to hurt, Jimmy. When taking damage from a zombie, there are different chances of infection depending on how serious the injury is. Scratches give a 7% chance of infection, lacerations give a 25% chance of infection, and bites being a death sentence. What do you do if you get infected, I hear you ask? Go ahead and tend to that wound. Covering with any kind of bandage will stop the bleeding, as well as rubbing the wound with a disinfectant will stop any bacteria from forming. Make sure to keep an eye on your health page to see if that bandage has become dirty every now and then, and you should be fine. Assuming you're not infected. Now there's only one last thing that we'll need to get a hold of before you're ready to survive and thrive all on your own, Jimmy. And that one thing is a car. Cars can still be found quite plentiful in the apocalypse, and due to everyone's undead nature, they're not quite so concerned with making sure that they left their car keys in a safe place. To be able to start driving, we're going to need to be able to start the car by either finding the key or hotwiring it. You can hotwire a car by leveling up your knowledge in both mechanics and electrical. After 2 levels in mechanics and 1 in electrical, you'll now be able to hotwire any car you come across. Until then though, you can start a car by finding its key. These can be found in a few locations, such as on the ground nearby, in a glove compartment, in the ignition, on a nearby zombie's person, or if it's parked at a house, then inside one of the containers inside. Great job, Jimmy! You've managed to find the key. But oh no, the car won't start. There can be 2 reasons for this. Pop open the hood and let's have a look at the internal, shall we? Nope, everything looks good here. Only other thing that could be wrong is the gas. Try grabbing something that can hold liquid like a bottle of water, bucket, or even a teapot. From there, you can either find other cars with gasoline to siphon or stop by your local gas station to grab some gas, take it back to your own car, and get yourself on the road. Nicely done, Jimmy! In only a few minutes, you've gotten yourself weapons, food, water, a car, and an extremely safe spot to rest your sleepy little head. Join us next time for more tips and tricks when surviving the apocalypse.